Rod, what did you see on film from the other night, and how do you respond to it?
Just got to be better. For me, I always, for us as an offense, I feel like we try and always get that extra emphasis on starting fast and, being physical. And, for me, I feel like that I just didn't set the tone from the beginning of the game, So, just got to continue to get better each and every day and, just keep going from there, continuing to grow. Me? I'm as healthy as I'm going to get, with the season coming up. But everybody always playing week in and week out with some minor injury or something that they got to push through. So,
when you say you're as healthy as you're going to get, what do you mean by that?
Like I said, I play O-line. It's a physical brand of football here in the Pittsburgh, PA. So, everybody's going to have those little nicks and bruises. But you guys just got to continue to play through them.
Is it little or is it something that's going to be?
Yeah, it's nothing major.
Elbow, right?
Huh?
Elbow?
Multiple things, So we just got to.
Is it limiting, Broderick? You got that brace on. Is it holding you back in any way?
No, I wouldn't. It's not the brace. Guys may think it is, but it's nothing wrong with the brace. It's just me being able to lock in with football and just continuing to grow as a player and trusting my game and just going from there. So
not being physical like you mentioned, that's pretty out of character from what we've seen of you dating back to last year. Can you recall that happening before?
I probably had a couple games here and there, but you just try and have that mindset of just the next play mentality. Like every down in and down out, you're just trying to continue to grow. If you mess up, next play mentality. Always having that mindset, I feel like it helps, me for sure, definitely, because, growing, like when I was at Georgia, I was always, stuck in my ways in my head if I get beat or something. So, I feel like I've grown in that manner, just being here in Pittsburgh and, just taking the coaching and, just listening to different players, like what their routine is like on game day or, what helps them or what don't help them. So, I feel like I just got to figure out, what works for me and just continue to grow off of that and, just see where it takes me.
Do you feel like switching sides is affecting you at all?
No.
4 sacks on Saturday. Just what were you seeing on the line out there? Why do you think you guys were getting beat like that?
Like I just said, just us being physical, playing our physical brand of football. Because I feel like when we start off that way and then, it just trickles throughout the whole team. And, at that point, we're just rolling and you really don't see it or hear about it. So I just feel like that's all it is. We just got to be faster and, have our mindset right of, just going out and just continue to put on our brand of football. That's me included. That starts with me. I feel like so. Just for me, I just feel like I got to be more physical. Within the start of the game. Just playing my brand of football.
Seeing your footwork, you were getting to your spot really quickly, but maybe weren't able to connect with your hands. How do you improve upon that, or what do you think you have to do to be better in those spots?
Just continuing to work on your hand-eye coordination throughout the week, because with that, like I said, like you just said, with me getting to my spot so fast, it kind of throws off the timing of things, being able, like having to wait on the defender, giving the defender time to react and then counter-react. And, it's a lot of different factors. So it's just me being able to, just control my sets, tempo my sets, and, just being dominant, with my hands and just playing football.
Was there anything different from Thursday? Because, I watched you go up against Greg several times in the joint practice, and you looked very strong in those moments.
One more time, sorry.
You went up against Rousseau in the joint practice on Thursday, and it seemed like the issues that you might have had in the game itself were like, I didn't see those in the joint practice. Was there any difference in like maybe your approach or something that you're like, I did this here, this there?
I don't feel like it was a difference, I just feel like it was one of those days for me. So, just trying to bounce back, get out of that hole, and just continue to get better.
With the brace, I know you said it's not affecting how you're playing, but was it an adjustment to get used to having something on your body that maybe you hadn't played with?
Yeah, it's definitely it was definitely an adjustment for me, but I wouldn't, we try as an offense and as a team, we say, control what you can control. With something like that, that's something I can't control. That's something I just got to play through. And, at the end of the day, hopefully one day I'm be able to take it off and won't have to wear it, but you never know, so.
Is that something that helps stabilize an injury? Or
one more question.
Is the brace something that helps with an injury, or is it to help with technique or combination?
No, it's for injury.
of going off of that 4 sacks on Saturday, what were you seeing out there?
It's just technique issues. I think people are getting beat. We're just doing bad technique. So we'll fix that.
What you've learned so far about Arthur Smith's run game, some of the nuances, the intricacies of the blocking up front. Have you held some of that back? Is there still a lot more to be thrown out there and just kind of have to walk that line against Detroit?
I'm confused. What do you mean?
Is there more to be seen up front in terms of what you guys are doing blocking wise in the run game?
No, I mean the plays are the plays. Yeah, I mean wide zone. You just run wide zone differently, out different formations. But I think they're all still to be the same plays now that we run in December.
How much of it is just cohesion, just getting snaps, getting those reps together?
Yeah, it's that, just technique, and I mean, that's why it's the preseason. We just gotta keep on working, keep on practicing.
It's obviously the most we saw out of Zach Frazier on Saturday. How do you evaluate how he did?
I think he's been doing a good job. I mean, being a center and finding out that you're gonna start when someone gets hurt in a practice. I mean, that's tough. So, but I mean, luckily for him, I feel like he's been doing a good job, and ever since he got here, back in May, I feel like he's been doing a good job, and he's always been hungry to work, so I'm excited to see him develop.
Is there any difficulty translating what you're doing in practice where, things look good, you feel confident, into that stadium situation? Is there an issue there?
I mean, yeah, it's just talking about technique, it's some technique mistakes people are doing, no, we didn't do that. We haven't done those in practice. So it's just that we just need to focus and just keep on getting better.
Arthur was talking about after game one when Troy fought through it with the knee injury, with the MCL, that he didn't even say anything during the game and just kind of gutted it out just to kind of get a feel for things. Is Broderick going through the same thing with his elbow right now? Is he kind of fighting through the same stuff just to make sure he can stay out there?
I don't want to speak on Broderick's injuries. That's a broad question you have to ask for him.
James, how do you protect him from a standpoint of knowledge, being able to call things out?
He's been doing a great job, verbally and me. He's been whenever we're out there, he's the leader of the line, and he's been commanding us. And Saturday, he was telling us what to do, and so I think he's been doing a good job so far.
Is there a big difference between what you guys were asked to do last year versus this year, especially when it comes to angles that you guys attack in the run game, or things that Arthur wants you to do in his rush offense versus last year?
I mean, there's slight differences, but I mean, at the end of the day, when you run wide zone last year or wide zone 5 years ago or back at Iowa, wide zone is still wide zone. So it's it's still. I feel like it's still the same, but we just have to just keep on just getting better and just doing our technique in the games and practicing and getting better.
You've had the depth test a little bit inside and outside. What about the guys that have stepped up?
I think everyone's been doing a good job. I mean, everyone from Spencer to Mason to Dylan's been doing a good job. I mean, everyone's been doing a good job. So excited that I'm glad that everyone's been doing a good job, because playing multiple positions and doing things like that, playing next to different people is hard, but I feel like everyone's been doing a good job with that.
When you have that depth tested, is there any difficulty in finding that cohesion that's so important on the offensive line?
No, because coaching-wise, Pat's teaching or Arthur's teaching us the same type of technique, so there shouldn't be much difference between no matter who's in there, because all the techniques and stuff are the same.
What was happening against the Texans? Were you thinking?
Yeah, the first couple of drives took me, I would say, up until the second drive to really get going, to get out of my head and just play ball. That's something that I'm constantly working on, just making sure that I'm going out there with the confidence and all my coaches throughout my life. Confidence comes from your preparation, so just making sure that I'm prepared.
When did you injure the knee? Last couple?
I think it was late first quarter. Yeah, I just got rolled up on and fell off, but I was not going to stop playing. I barely got my feet wet. So I decided to keep playing in the second quarter, and then told them to throw some Tiger Balm on it and just kept going. And then come halftime, when we were walking down the stairs, actually to get into the locker room, my leg felt like it was I was like, oh, something's off here. So I went in there. I was like, can I get a knee brace, this, that, and the other? Because, I wanted to keep playing. I wanted to make it for what, didn't happen in those first couple drives. So, like I said, man, try not to beat myself up too much, just making sure that I approach each challenge, whatever day comes. So right now it's just attacking rehab and making sure that I'm ready to go.
Is it your expectation you're starting when you're healthy?
My expectation is to do whatever the role is given to me. I can't give you an answer on that. I'll let Coach Pat, Coach Isaac, and then take care of that. I'm just making sure I'm prepared for whatever opportunity comes. So
when you're physically limited, what can you do to make sure this doesn't hurt your development long term?
Focus on everything mental, on the mental aspect of the game, just locking in on the plays. Like we put in more install for this week. You know, we put in install last week. I didn't play last week. Just making sure that I'm approaching right now because it's time for me to practice my routine. So for me, I'm preparing like I'm playing this week. I'm writing down who I'm going against, like what their moves are, the defenses, the keys. The coaches are telling me I'm writing every single thing down, and I'm making sure I'm preparing like I'm playing this week. So for me, it's just making sure I have enough practice going into week one. So
how have you felt about your first 2 games?
I definitely had some good plays, and some plays I want back. I'm always going to be hard on myself, so. Overall, I think they're pretty solid, but I'm my biggest critic. So, I want to strive to be as best that I can be.
Where do you need to improve?
Is there an example of something Nate really has helped you out with?
Just a lot of technique stuff. I just ask him questions. He critiques everything I do. So, nothing like in particular, but really just everything.
Where do you think you need to make the most improvement between now and Atlanta?
I would say just. Can I come back to that one? Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Remind me to ask you before you're done.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We've heard a lot about your football maturity from these guys that draft you, people in the front office. How much does your experience at West Virginia with the 37 consecutive starts at center, how much does that help you now in this position when it looks like you're going to be starting as a rookie in the NFL?
Yeah, I've definitely played a lot of football, and that helps. But then again, college isn't the NFL, so the reps I've gotten in OTAs and the reps I've gotten in camp has really helped me out a lot. It's obviously a different speed to that. But yeah, I would say just being an offensive lineman in general, the more reps you get, I feel like that's really how you learn. So,
have you thought at all about starting your first game as a rookie?
I would say that's always been my goal. I didn't want to be a backup. I was going to shoot for to earn that starting job. That's just my mentality. I always want to be on the field and earn it if I can. It's kind of what I've always that's what my goal was.
Speaking of the game, when it comes to getting to the second level, how have you felt yourself being able to do that, getting to linebackers with the different angles they're asking you and how fast guys are at this point?
Yeah, I would say angles are huge. Depending on the play, depending on the scheme, every play is different. You got to take a little bit different angle. So I would say that's something I need to work on.
Working angles?
Yeah. Because that's something that Nate's helped me out with a lot. Because it's like minor details depending on the play. Depending if you want to be a little flatter, a little sharper. It makes a big difference. Yeah, head placement, hand placement. So I would say that's something I'm working on.
When you go up a level, you guys bigger, faster, get stronger. How do you feel like you just handle the physicality of the NFL so far? Next week?
I feel like I'm getting acclimated to it. It's still football. The people are bigger, stronger, faster, like you said, but I feel like I'm getting used to it for sure.